Hi everyone, how are you doing? I was just talking to Carla on an offline call, and I thought I would share my thoughts with the rest of you. And I was explaining to her how the world is shifting from the kind of world where we know, which was that we were a family. You had parents, you had grandfather, you have um, aunties, and you have uncles who would help you become a certain kind of person. But now the position changed after some years, and it became where the books became the teacher, and we were learning from the books. And then there was another shift, and that was towards radio, and then um, there was television. And the people who were on radio and television became the influencers of our life, and we started to become like the people who are on television. But now, in this generation of the internet, with Facebook and Facebook Live, what is happening is that you, I, Carla, Ali Dadwala, Didar Sheikh, all these people who are going live, and our friends basically are becoming our new teachers. We're creating a new kind of culture on the globe, which is influenced by you and influenced by me and influenced by everyone. And the difference between this influence is that it was very difficult to write a book. It was very difficult to be on radio. It was very difficult to be on television. Whereas now it's no longer difficult, and all of a sudden, 2 billion people come in the world and are live on are active. They share content, and we are the ones who are creating the new kind of content and new kind of culture, and it's up to us what the future will look like. So people who are thinking, oh, I'm a nobody and I'm living in a very small town in the world and I really don't really matter anymore, that's no longer the case. Every single human being who is active on Facebook, active on YouTube, active on Facebook Live, is or any other form like blogging or anything else, they are literally creating how the world in future will look like. And some people have more influence, just like in television. Some people had more influence, just like in the book world. Some people had more influence. uh, it is now changing as we are entering into this new era of globalization and the era of new interconnectedness. And and if we think about it, um, I was watching another video by a friend of mine. His name is Anis, and this another gentleman from Sibbi, Imran Khan Para, and I was one of those people, and this is how we were raised, that we were taught to complain that the government did not this to us and government did not do to that, and this is broken or that is broken. But if you actually look carefully, the governments actually never did anything in the last 100 years or 125 years. And I was watching this documentary about Nikolai Tesla, that electricity only happened in this last century. So it's only 110 years old, that there was no electricity before. There was nothing. And then Tesla was trying to create this global communication system, which which allows today television, but it will also allow global free communication in the world. And that's what has finally happened in this century, that people can communicate freely, openly, to the world, to everyone, whoever they wanted to. And that's one of the most important things to have, is to be able to speak, be able to be heard. And once you are able to speak and when you're heard, you change. It's fundamentally something inside us changes, because we feel content that we have actually spoken out, and we made our cause. And in the last era, in the last way of living, the governments told us that we have to give them the power so they can take our money, they can take our taxes and do something which is good for the whole community. And they have not been able to do that properly. And there are many reasons for that. And now it is up to us how we change and how we do something about what will our future looks like. So if Carla is doing a show every day, talking to almost 2 hours and a day with a guy from Palestine and a guy from Pakistan and a woman from DC, and this was unheard of. This was unthinkable. This was something which the presidents of the world wouldn't be able to do. And now, Carla Reachman can do it, and Ali Dadwala can do it, and Didar Sheikh can do it, and anybody can do it. And it's the courage which is lacking of doing it, of taking the action. And once we get over the fear which we have, which we think we don't have, but everybody has, of going online or becoming naked, as a lot of people say, online, and getting over the ideology of it's not about what, people are trying to protect some kind of privacy. You need to understand what privacy we're trying to protect and what is it that we're trying to hide. Are people posting naked photos of themselves on Facebook or their family? What is it that they're trying to hide and they're scared of? And unless we take this fear away, we will still stay American or Pakistani or Palestinian or Israeli or Jew or a Muslim or whatever. The moment we take away the fear and I start connecting to these people and start talking to these people, all those fears will just start dropping like they never existed. They were built around us, and now we have to, just like the Berlin Wall was built and the new wall might be built in Mexico, we need to take care of this. And one thing which whoever is hearing me, if there's people from Mexico and the US hearing this, if you could actually break the walls through the Facebook based on like what we're doing and trying to connect more and more people. So for example, if every Mexican in Mexico knew 10 Americans in America, there would be no more fear of Americans fearing Mexicans and Mexicans fearing Americans anymore, because they would actually have an amigo on the other side of the border, and we will integrate and become one, and we will be able to have the empathy which needs to understand why they're doing it and what's happening. And this has never been possible before, but it is possible today. And thank you, Carla, for doing what you're doing and giving your time. And that's the most expensive commodity which people are not giving right now, is becoming available. Just make yourself available to people who want to be able to talk to you. Unfortunately, in the churches, we can't go in. Unfortunately, in synagogues and mosques, we just can't go in because there's fear. But on Facebook, we can go in and say, hi, let's talk. And yeah. So does that answer your question, or does that explain or is it too long?
We agree, but it brought up some thoughts for me. One, and I think you've heard me say this, at least why am I echoing?
You're echoing because you're echoing. Go ahead. It is what it is.
Okay, I hate echoing.
There's a lot of things we hate. You can't change it. I hate my nose. It's so big, but I can't get a new one. It's the only one I got.
Yeah, you're stuck with it. I don't mind your nose. Anyway,
well, you can have mine.
I don't want your nose, but I don't mind it. I mean, you can keep your nose.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I was going to say, one of the things I often say on my show, when I think about it, is that we are all connected, and we keep on forgetting that we are connected. We're connected by the air we breathe. We couldn't be living on this earth unless we were breathing. And that air doesn't change whether we are in the United States or in England or in Pakistan or India. We are all connected by it. So we are all one family, even though we have never met. And if we are all one family, why can't we start beginning to act like it? I mean, first of all, think of it. We have the most powerful antidepressants that could ever be used, which is our smile and laughter. Go anywhere in the world, see a smile. You may not understand the English, but you'll be able to hear, you'll be able to know what someone's saying when they smile and laugh. Well, we've made everything so interconnected by thoughts. Our thoughts mean nothing. It's our ability to be able to just breathe the same air that makes us family. So whether you want me as family or not, you're stuck with me, Rehan.
Yeah, we're all part of a new kind of family where, our parents don't sit us down all the time and tell us how we should be acting. That is how we just learn by watching them. We learn by seeing what our elders are doing, be it an elder brother, sister, whoever. We just copy them. And for example, the reason I speak English the way I speak is I watched a lot of CNN. I actually did not even watch a lot of CNN. I just heard a lot of CNN. And I ended up speaking English the way I speak. And that's not only the reason, because I also learned it in school, which was not doing a very good job, and I really didn't like to study. But this is something how I learned. I learned by hearing and watching. So now, all of a sudden, Leland is a big brother, Carla is a big brother, sister, Rehan is a big brother or a young brother to everyone. And we're collectively learning, and we're having a collective consciousness, which something Nikola Tesla mentioned 100 years ago, where we can actually use our collective consciousness and collective brain power to dissolve the problems which are around us. And majority of the problems are because we don't understand the problems, we're scared of them, or we dislike what we do. Most people in the world do jobs which they don't really like. And that's one of the fundamental problems of the new system, of the old system. In the new system, we need to do jobs which we actually love. Otherwise, we would not get in the depth of the problem. And we just learn to band-aid the problem. We don't really learn how to go in deep and understand the cause and effect of it. And we just try to, on the surface, solve them. Otherwise, imagine a guy 120 years ago inventing electricity. Why would he invent something so amazing, and Edison invent so many things amazing, and why can't we do it? And both of them, especially Edison, was not good in learning, but they were curious. And I'm not saying there are no longer curious people, but we kill our curiosity in the school system, and we sort of want people to become in a certain way because we think it's right. Who are we to judge anybody? How much knowledge do we have to tell anyone how good are we or bad we are? And again, that's what you're helping these people do who join your show. I mean, how I'm amazed that you got Tariq Shahtat to do this every day. He would never listen. Now he's showing up every day, and he's talking and he's giving his time. He was the first one who won a laptop from us in Palestine. And it was such a hassle to get him one, and then he finally got out of Gaza. And now he has the power to change an entire nation, but he doesn't. He doesn't think that he can do that. He doesn't think that he has the power to do anything. He's like, oh, I'm nobody. So that's what we all do. We all end up thinking we're nobodies, but we're all somebodies, and we're nobodies. We're all connected, and we all have the power to just become what we're supposed to become. And once we become what we're supposed to become, hopefully things get better.
Absolutely. And the thing is, as I was talking to you earlier about someone, people give up before they give themselves a chance. And I feel like my job is to say, come on, stop being so stupid. I never say it in these words that I'm saying it now, but stop, to do a job. And it may not be the job you learned in school just because you learned in school how to read and write, but your real talent goes much further than reading and writing. You have something to do here. And it may not be what everyone else wants to do, but come on, do what you like doing and see what happens. Everything will fall into place regardless.
Yeah. Anything else on your mind? So I can go offline off my silence, go to my silence time.
You've been talking beautifully for about a long time now. I think I've said it. You said what I needed to say and what I wanted to say. There's really nothing else to be said.
Well, thank you so much. It was nice to see you. Thank you for doing the amazing job you do. Everyone out there who is doing the amazing jobs they do, thank you for doing that. And if somebody has time, I would really request you to go online, go live for 15 to 30 minutes every day and just write the status, how can I help you? And just be present and be available for these people to come and ask help from you. And if you tag me, I will be happy to share those videos. And if you do it a good job on them, I will give you access to my page and you can do it from my page. And you will have access to 590,000 people who are on my page all of a sudden. And you can help them by, not financially, you can help them by just listening to them and by allowing them to be present with you and by bringing them into your video call and giving them the motivation to do their own show and become the change they want to see in the world.
We had someone on the show today. I'm not going to mention names, but a really cool kid. And he said, but I have nothing to offer. I'll try. And I said, you don't have to try. You need to do. And I made him throw a book on the floor. And I told him, now pick it up. Pick it up. And he picked it up. And I said, did you try to pick it up or did you pick it up? He said, I picked it up. And I said, that's all you can do. You do what you can do. And what you do is a gift to the world, whether you realize it or not. So, Rehan, what you're doing for the world is important. You need to keep doing it.
Well, I am doing what I can, and I feel that the results are coming finally. At least small little seedlings are coming. And I'm happy and thankful to you and people like Rahmat and people like Leland who have joined the journey and giving their time every day, every other day, every week. Adalat Khan from Austria is doing it. So all these guys, they are planting more seeds, and it will become a forest sometime in the next few years. And as I said, there is in the pain and suffering is about to go away. We just have to be a little bit more patient. We have to take actions of what we can, and it's about to go away. And Zahida Nawaz Minhas, you can't join because you don't know. You can join and you can learn. Just go on YouTube and type how to do this, or just try different things. You won't break the computer, you won't break the mobile phone, you won't break the internet. Nothing is going to break. The only thing that is going to break is the fear of doing this. So break your fear as soon as possible and then take an action and become amazing. And what you can do is you can talk to Rahmatullah Rahmat, and he can interview you and he can show you how to do this also. So how about that?
Or you can.
I wanted to tell you that when I heard your first interview with Roshan ever, and I was banging my head, I was telling my wife, "Oh my God, this guy he's going to be so angry." But you have totally broken all the ideas I had about anyone. So I was so wrong, and you have been really inspirational, and you have really did this every single day, showing up and helping people out. That's really amazing. Thank you for doing what you do. Keep doing it as much as you can. I know it's hard, but dedicate it to like an hour a day. Don't do more than that, because let others start their own shows. That's the whole idea. Rather than we doing everything, we have to allow others to do it. So the purpose of your show was to encourage others to come in front. So for example, Muhammad Ali, who helps you every day, he can start his own show in Urdu doing the same thing. And he can teach people, better Urdu or something else. Like he's an economics guy, so he can teach economics. The thing is, by bringing people online, they get the courage, they get the inspiration, and they break their fears that they can don't do this. And I was yesterday, a politician messaged me who is running for candidacy in his area in Pakistan, and he said, "I've never been interviewed like this on Facebook. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity." And I said to him, "Look, this is a tool which you can use to help the people of your area. This is what the purpose of this tool is. The purpose of being a politician is to guide people and to lead people, and this is what you can do sitting from the comfort of your home. No matter where you are, no matter where you are in the world, you can help people just by encouraging them to do what they're doing." So I want to thank you. You're our politician now. So I don't know about what kind of politician Eric Ross would be, but if he goes online and talks to people for half an hour a day, half an hour, instead of going into different places, he would make more impact. It's about impact, not about the results, because results take more time. Impact is very difficult to measure, but it is there.
And I love it's driving me nuts. I really love what you're doing, Mayhan, because it has so much power and so much influence over people. Whoever thought I'd be doing a show every week, every day, talking to people? But I see now, and you kind of pushed me into it. You did push me into it. And there are people doing things more now, or feeling more confident about themselves than they did earlier. I mean, look at Tafeen. He's doing all kinds of Facebook Lives now. It's just amazing.
Who's that you mentioned?
Tafeen, the guy that drove you around somewhere at one point, and you had him talk to me. And he's the guy who sent me I'm sorry I haven't been at your show. I missed your show thing. I told you about it earlier.
Yeah.
But even the guys who've come in to help me, I mean, people are volunteering time on a regular basis to make sure that I don't have to throw people out of my show and that I keep on talking, or if I don't want to talk, they can talk for me for a little while. I have a whole team now. I have a team who's even looking at the comments on Facebook Live. I never did. But they are now doing that for me because they want to make sure that I stay around. You weren't around the day I was about to quit.
I have a request for you, and the request is to help once they show up like 5 times or 10 times. Like for example, Tariq Shahtad has been coming for so long. He should start his
Yeah.
own. He should start his own show in Arabic, so we can create an influence for him, and he can teach people Arabic. So people of Pakistan want to learn Arabic, or again, the thing is, how can I help you? So he's a programmer or something. He can help people in his own way. So similarly, Ali can do his own show. Once people join you 5 times, please encourage them to start at least come once live, and then once they get the hang of it, they will just keep away from this because they really want to help, and people really take help from this, and it really works really well. People don't understand it yet, but they will eventually. It's very powerful stuff.
I'll talk to mine. I don't want to lose those guys, but I'll talk to
You
them.
won't lose them. You will get new bunch. So like you can't just educate the same class for 5 years, right?
I know, but it's so nice right now.
You won't lose them. They would still be your students. They would still be your kids. Don't worry about it. Just keep pushing them. For example, Takwa should definitely start her own children's show where she encourages other disabled people. And if she just shows up every day for 20 minutes, she would change the whole country's disabled program just by one showing up every day. That's all you need to do.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. That's why when Takwa shows up in my waiting room, I always bring her in because I want people to see her.
Yeah.
I know. I agree with you. I need the team.
The team is not going anywhere. As I said, the team will be staying there. Don't worry about it. But you encourage them to grow. That's our job.
I know. I was starting to think that in those terms. I guess great minds think alike.
And those who are coming to your show for help, and tell them to add my friends, and that way, that would really allow them to see things in a very different way. And once they see things in a different way, they will no longer be in tension or in problem. They will be able to take themselves out of the problems. The challenge is they're surrounded only by similar thinkers. And if they are surrounded by similar thinkers, the problem is going to repeat constantly because they're seeing the problem in the same way. They're not changing their glasses. So if they add 500 of my non-Pakistani Facebook friends, all of a sudden everything will change.
Yeah, I almost have 400 now.
Yes.
In less than 2 months.
You have done it, but ask others to do it. Like Ali is not.
I know.
And these people think they don't need or they need similar-minded people. So, but let me remind you that when we were children, even of our own siblings, they're not similar-minded. Our parents are not similar-minded, but we are all similar-minded at the same time. We're not the same. So the people, when you add randomly, they're not random. They're very well-selected people. And God doesn't do anything randomly. Everything in the universe is happening as a plan. It's not random. They're coming to us. It's not random that they're joining us. It's not random that they're adding them. There is no such thing as randomness. We think too much about things, and let them not think too much about it and just add these friends, and that will help them transform themselves into a very different person. If it's a girl, I suggest them to add 1,000 people. If it's a guy, 500 is okay. It's a girl because everybody accepts a girl. Nobody accepts a guy. So their basic work starts when they've done the 500 friends, because the Pakistani guys accept girls just like that.
Oh, that's true.
So,
that's very true.
If you want to make an impact, you want to add 2,000.
You don't know how many Pakistani men.
How many proposals have you received, Carla?
I haven't received proposals as much as I've been receiving all kinds, especially in the past few days since we changed the format a little. boy, are people wanting to friend me.
They're wanting to friend you because they were not able to find you before. And now you're doing it from your own profile so they can find you easily. That's what I was asking you to do before, to tag yourself properly so that they can find you. They can't find you. They don't know Facebook enough to find them. Like our sister Zahida here was saying, I want to come online, but I don't know how to. And we are scared of it. So they were not able to find you. And for most people on my page, or for many, you might be the first American they've ever met or they can friend. So that's even scary for them. They're like, oh, American, oh my God, they might bomb me or something. Or they're like, big people, I don't want to be friends with American, you know.
And sometimes when we first met, I was pretty cautious of you. I'm not anymore. I mean,
Same thing. Same thing. You're also the same exact fear which you had. They have the same fear too. So it's vice versa. All the Americans think we don't nobody but Apu over here from 7-Eleven is here to serve you. But they think you're nobody but like somebody like Trump.
Oh no, I'm not at all. Although
like Trump, who is a woman who's sitting there like, there's a conspiracy of CIA doing this show.
I'm still waiting for
Buddhism or Christianity, and they don't know that nobody can actually become a Jew. You have to be born a Jew.
But let me gather my composure. I live right down the street. I'm still waiting for them to come bombard my apartment.
Why would they come? They're happy that you are there, that you're doing their work for free. You're converting the Muslim people into Jews and Christians.
I told you, maybe I didn't tell you, but it just popped into my mind right now. My rabbi.
Yeah.
I can call him my rabbi. Has this, we have in our synagogue, which is half a church and half a synagogue in the same building, which is kind of cool. But we also are affiliated with a mosque. And we invite the mosque. There's a service with the church, the mosque, and the synagogue every year, twice a year, once around Thanksgiving, and I think sometime in the spring. And we all come together. And the first time I went to one of these things, I was amazed by the people I met. This past July, and I blame this on you, sort of, there was, you can be blamed on certain things. There was a service for Eid at the mosque, and we were invited to come, and the rabbi spoke at the service. But at the end of it, they had food. And they were I don't want to say they were the sweetest people, but being in the mosque was probably one of the most wonderful experiences I ever had. Sweet, giving, loving people. And I don't know if I would have gone if I hadn't had the connection I made here. It wouldn't have even occurred to me, do I want to go or not? But if I'm not driving right now. I'm not supposed to be. So a friend of mine from the synagogue came, got me, took me to the mosque, and it was really a wonderful experience. I even called Kazi. No, I sent him a text. I was going to send it to you, but we were too young in our friendship. I was afraid to ask you. You'd think it was stupid. I have all my Indian clothes. Can I wear Indian clothes to a mosque? And Kazi was, of course you can. Why are you questioning it? I said, I didn't know. I just needed to know. So it was like, my whole life has changed quite a bit since I started adding Rehan Awawawa as friend. But I also added you as a friend. And I'm so happy I did. Did I talk too much?
I really have to go now.
Yeah, you really should. You're supposed to be not talking, my friend.
Yeah. I will be giving, hopefully, I will be meeting Caroline, my friend in Connecticut, and I will probably be speaking at their church on Sunday, so maybe I'll go live from there and you can watch that.
Yeah, why don't you?
Alrighty. See you
And
then.
when are you coming to DC?
It's in my to-do list, so maybe next week. I don't know.
It would be wonderful to have you here.
Yeah, I'm looking for the couch. What nobody has offered so far.
Oh, you could sleep on my futon. Oh boy, I'm going to be sorry I said that. We'll need to get you a mattress because the futon mattress got ruined when we renovated the place.
Okay, I'll think about it.
We'll talk.
All right, bye.
Bye. Go back to your silence.